Well, brothers, what do you think? I mean, some people, I don't know who, could it be me, likes pocket swords. So if you want a sword in your pocket, dear Liza, guess what? There's you a sword right here. And I got this one from Mr. Knife Nutty Nuts, Levon, Knife Nuts Podcast. Knife Nuts Podcast. Oh my God, how gruesome. Where'd he get that art from? Looks great. Okay, and I got this vault. It was on his website. It was, I believe, 65 books, which is like this carbon fiber look and everything. Gives you a handle, zipper, you know. And then open it up and all this kind of, I mean, I'll get into this a little bit later, but whew, that's all kinds of crazy. Check this out though, and where's my box? Okay, Reptilian, knife company, Russia, you know, read backwards and forwards. And this is the Finka. Now, this is a scale actuated model, so you push up on the scale. It lets it go. It's kind of like an axis lock, you know, except it kind of works that way, except it's scale actuated. So, whoop, bounced it. So you open it by, I mean, it doesn't have a flipper tab and all that kind of stuff, but if you, drops right back in there. As long as you keep this scale, you know, up. Like that. So you can look kind of Rico Suave when you do that. Especially, let me tell you, especially, yikes, here comes the truth of the matter. Pocket sword time. Yeah, you got a 4.5-inch blade. Hell, let's call it 4.6. Hell, 15, 16, 17, 117 millimeters at 10 inches. 25.5 centimeters. Because you don't need no stinking girl knife, little girl knife. What? Girls have these. Men have these. Actually, I do like the petrified fish. But this is a knife right here. Now, this didn't cost a lot of money, and it's more of a, I guess, a curiosity and stuff. It's obviously not an everyday carry. It's definitely not a discreet gent carry. And it can be a little bit more difficult for some people to function with because of this. Okay? So, but I just think it's way cool. So, Knife Nuts, Levon. And he posted on his Instagram, and so I just hit him up. I go, I got to have one of these. Because he had done a couple of releases before of these, and I missed out on them. So I was late to the party. So he told me when it was going down. I think he posted it on his Instagram thing. And so you just show up, and hopefully you can grab one when they go up. And, you know, $100. It's D2. It's G10. Is it worth more than $100? I don't know. It's not like the finest ultra world-class fit and finish in the world, but it's reasonably good, actually. And if you're a lefty, there you go, except this part of the scale on this side doesn't pick up, Mr. Left-handed. So, yikes, you got to still do this, right-handed. So let's hope you're ambidextrous. Reptile time, D2, what else does it say? Number 289. This is contoured, this is gemmed, it's got liners that show, so they're heavy. And this whole thing, well, I mean, hello, it's 10 inches long. What do you think it's gonna weigh? It ain't gonna weigh no 3 ounces, that's for sure. So let's kick it on the scale. 6.6 ounces. That's starting to get to be a grown-up knife there. And 186, it's under 200 grams. Well, if it got a little bit heavier, it'd almost be for adults. That is something, isn't it? And I like the overall design. When I saw the design, that's what drew me to this knife, okay? And then when, you know, just like I said on my review on the Thak, T-H-A-K, and I wish I had it here on the table, but I don't. I sent it in for PMI testing just to make sure this is D2 stuff, this from Reptilian knives, because I've never had them tested. So that's gone, and it's going to be gone for a while, so I need to get this on before that gets back. But I will report later on batch 43 or 44 that knife and how it turned out. But I mean, just the design looks so good. Yeah, let me get a piece of paper here, see if this thing will cut anything. Well, yes, that worked. Yes, and so did that. Okay, with the greatest of ease. So, okay. Now, I mean, he doesn't have any more available right now, but he may be getting more in the future. So check out Knife Nuts Podcast on Instagram. I'll give you the link. I'll give you the link to Knife Nuts Podcast website as well. And, you know, you can direct message him through his Instagram and say, are you going to get any more, blah, 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 and what else? What other monster Russian knives you going to come up with in the future, and try and stay up on that, okay? And you got some jimping back here. I mean, normally when this thing turns up like this kind of puts you in a fix for, you know, space with your hands. But since this is longer than the Indy front, you know, the straightaway and Indy, yes, you got plenty of room. You can invite friends to come over. Yeah, that's a lot of space for hands right there. You got to have some mongrel mitts to fill that up. And reverse grip's fine if I can get the pommel out here. Woo! Yeah, that's a whole lot of love right there. Let me see what is this damn thing here? Come on. Yeah, only 3.5 millimeter blade stock. You just thought they'd have gone full 4. 0.13, but that's okay. That's okay. 0.66. Okay, let's get on top of these ridges. Yeah, 0.66 at 17 millimeters. So she's, yeah, it's fat in the hands. It's fat in the hands. And it's G10, and the hardware looks okay. I mean, kind of run-of-the-mill. Nothing ultra special. But I think that the ergo is nice with the palm swell and everything. That's fine. I don't feel too far behind the blade here. You got a thumb ramp with jimping. You can get right up on that. But, oh, that's just, whew. I mean, I don't care how big that orange is. You can cut through that sucker. You know, there's some knives where, you know, you get a good old Tangelo, you can't get all the way through it. Well, I think this thing will get her done at 4.5 inches through there. And you got no thumb studs or anything to interfere with the materials you're cutting. It's a nice big flat grind. So, and obviously, yeah, those are bearings. That is not a washer. Yeah, but I mean, it's just kind of cool because it's mystifying to some people when you do this. They go, how'd you do that? Because they didn't catch that you were lifting the scale, okay? And so it's got cool factor from that standpoint. It'll sit deep in the pocket. It will, you know, go in your pocket. It's not 8 ounces. It's not 12 ounces. So you can carry it. I mean, I don't think it'd be that disturbing, and not to me. I mean, I can carry pocket swords. I mean, look at Cold Steel. They made the world happen with pocket swords, and people love the hell out of them, and I do too. I got a Talwar that's the XL size. I got a Holdout that's the XL size. I mean, I got the Frenzy. That's a monster knife. I mean, you know, they got all kinds of stuff. And you know what? So I got no problem with that. I like pocket swords. Yeah, I mean, fit and finish is pretty good. I mean, they could have maybe done a little bit more to knock the corners, like on the insides of these liners. But they're not to where I'm worried about cutting myself. They're not that sharp. It's just they could have been a little bit more rounded. But, I mean, consider the fact you're not paying $150 or whatever. I mean, with shipping all in, leave on was like 98 bucks, I think. So and it's cool, and he had to import them from Russia, and so, you know, I don't think he was making more than $1 or $2 off of doing them, but he's calling attention to his website and trying to build something. So I totally support that. And so there you go. There's your pivot screw there, right? Where is it from here? Nah, it's underneath there. Reverse grip all day long. Where's my balance? Oh, got to get way back, Jack, for the balance point. Okay, so where am I stopping? Where's my stop? There's my stop here. I guess right here, huh? So that's interesting. It's solid. I mean, and these liners are no slouch. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's something that's of interest to you. I mean, it's not. And the thing is, if you want these knives, you need to be in touch with him. And he may be able to refer you over to wherever that you can get these. And then maybe they might be available on AliExpress, since I'm sure they're made in China. You might look, because, let me tell you that, because like there's other knives that they're from Russia, and like the Arcona, and this is on AliExpress, okay? And this is an Ivan Bragnitz design that is really a cool knife, front flipper, everything. And he's been involved in crystal knives and some of the others that have been coming from Russia. And so you can get a hold of Ivan, you can get a hold of Levon. They all know each other, and maybe they can hook you up or give you some insight into where you can find one of these knives, like the Thack, the Arcona, or crystal knives, or whatever. I mean, my crystal knives review, I did leave links to that site where you could get those. Way cool. Okay, these are number 6 screws, but these are just, you know, coming through to the liner, okay? So, let's see what we got when we get these out. And if we can pull this scale, and here you go, okay? So here's your screws, here's the underneath, and it's machined out because it needs to fit this, okay? And so this little piece, this insert here, coming up through here, and so then this is the piece that gets raised by, when you press up on the scale, this sits over this piece here and raises it up, which releases this, okay? So you can see this rolls around, okay? There's a spring on here. This pushes up, and then this takes that away. I mean, you can open this without doing anything with the scale, okay? You can open it. You just can't disengage this once it's locked here until you lift up on here and raise this little bar thing that's stuck in, and then you can disengage it. And you see where it goes in here that locks it in place in this area. So, but when it's like this, no problem. You can open this up. You just can't shake it out, okay? And so that's why, you know, I use this to release it, you know, so it will just drop, okay? But it does have some pull here. And by the way, there's no play in the detent. This gives you an idea. It's kind of a reverse setup to the axis lock. It's kind of a kissing cousin, isn't it? But interesting the way they did that. And not like this is the only scale actuated thing. And of course, Seibert did a double action, which was activated, but that was an automatic, by just the bolster kicking up here. And it would release and automatically flip the knife open. But that was a little bit different function. This one, kind of fascinating the way they did it, except, you know, I've got to have Torxes, I've got to have Phillips, and probably God only knows to reset these springs like needle nose to place them back in the proper position. And we ain't gonna do that because I don't wanna. And oh well, here's our body screw back in here. So maybe that was just totally unsatisfying, but help yourself to obtain one. And you can tear the hell out of it because, you know, the problem is I've torn them apart and then I've spent like 3 times longer putting them back together because somehow they come apart so easily. I like the Garage Squad, right? Oh, I took my engine from my Hemi Cuda apart, but I don't know how to put it back together. They're always easier to take apart than they are to put back together. Reptilian Finka. I like the Finka. It's a big pocket sword. I mean, if I get 3 minutes to breathe, I'm going to throw together some pocket swords out of my drawers and kind of just show you some of the big knives that I've got, you know, that I own. There's others that I've owned in the past and I don't have anymore, but I mean, I could throw some out on the table and say, here's what I've managed to hold on to and kind of why. And that might be of interest. I don't know. But yeah, I like the setup on the pocket clip. They could have done flush screws there. It would have been nice. But check out Knife Nuts Podcast. And you are entering the vault. The vault of doom. And, you know, I think on his website, it gives you a little bit more insight on what you can do here with these. But you can put different knives in different configurations in here. And then, of course, on this side too. Or you can put them in this area. I mean, there's just so many possibilities. It's insane. But I really like it. When I saw it on his website, I said, yeah, I want one of those. All right, get out of here. We're going to let you go. Somewhere around here. We love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.